You see my notes? Don't try it because it's not so easy to understand. So welcome back once again, and here I am with the second part of the diversity. And I'm surely gonna help you to memorize this chapter. What all others do is that they can help you to basically understand this chapter. But believe me, if you pay 100% attention, then here I can make you memorize the chapter. Just be with me with all the parts of my video. So here the chapter begins. Classification and evolution was the second page heading I read. So what basically it taught was that as the organisms have evoluted, what does this really evolution means? That basically some organisms have been created newly with the accumulation of changes in them. So those who have changed are said to be new organisms, whereas those who have not changed, they are said to be primitive. Though these names are not so accurate because they don't tell anything about the characteristic of the organism, so it's really not so accurate name. Here we have the 5 kingdom classification. In my previous video, I warned you about that. Don't get confused between the 5 kingdom classification and the way in which we can classify the organisms. So here is the 5 kingdom classification: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. So let's revise it once without seeing: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Okay, third time revision, and let's make it final. We are not going to have any watch to what we are seeing. Okay, so let's do it. Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. So here we are done with their names. Now it comes to their characteristics, where most of us get stuck. So, Monera. These organisms do not have a well-defined nucleus or organelles. So, basically, they are the prokaryotic. Just make a point to note down that Moneras are prokaryotic organisms. And on the other hand, they show diversities in some of the other characteristics. Like, it's not necessary that if this organism is Monera, even the other is Monera, so they would be having the same characteristic. This is not necessary. So, cell wall, and either some of the Moneras have the cell wall, whereas others might not have a cell wall. Some may be autotrophic, that is their mode of nutrition would be self-dependent, whereas the mode of nutrition maybe for other Moneras can be heterotrophic. So, basically they show variety or diversity in these things. And this group includes bacteria, blue-green algae or cyanobacteria, and mycoplasm. And we can just have a figure once. We can see that bacteria and anabina are given here. So let's revise what we have learned without seeing into the book. And I think if I'll say it many times, it would be easy for you to memorize it as quickly as possible. So what we learned about Monera: first of all, they are prokaryotic. Second, they show variety in many forms. Like first of all, some of them are autotrophic, others can be a heterotrophic. Third is that some could be having cell wall, whereas others might not have a cell wall. Examples are mycoplasm and bacteria. So here we are done with the Monera. Just revise it once. Just pause this video, Green Future, and revise it what you have learned about Monera. Just remember 3 things. Prokaryotic, they show variety on basis of cell wall and mode of nutrition, and finally the example. Here you are done with the Monera. Now it comes to Protista. Remember, these are the eukaryotic organisms. They are unicellular, and one of the most new something different about them is that they use appendages to move. That is hair-like cilia or the whip-like flagella. That's it about it. The mode of nutrition, as in Monera, can be autotrophic or heterotrophic. So examples are unicellular algae, diatoms, or protozoans. That's it. If we come to fungi are the heterotrophic eukaryotic organisms. They use dead and decaying organic matter for their foods, and thus they are also called saprophytes. And they have stages in their life. They have cell wall of complex sugar. So there's something, see, in every point you'll notice every organism has something different. Like if we talk about Monera, they show variety and they were prokaryotic, whereas this Protista were, first of all, they were not prokaryotic but eukaryotic, and second, they use hair-like cilias or whip-like flagellas to move. If we come to fungi, they have a complex sugar cell wall made up of chitin. That's it. And the examples are yeast and mushrooms. So this is how, just learn the differences between them and you'll be able to learn it in a very better way. For Plantae and Animalia, just think about the plant organisms around you, and for Animalia, just think about the animals around you. As plants are autotrophic, Plantae is autotrophic. We have seen that Plantae are multicellular, they are multicellular. And that's it about them. And Animalia are heterotrophic and they are generally multicellular and they do not have a cell wall, whereas Plantae have cell wall. So basically Plantae and Animalia are very easy because they are just about the plant organisms and the animal organisms around you. We have a well-defined flowchart in our NCERT books. See, I generally try to cover it through NCERT books so that you are well clear with the chapters and you are done with the NCERT, which is the main course books of the 9th class, which are generally included in paper. So here we have a best flowchart from which we can learn the chapter diversity. So basically organisms are classified on the two bases, whether they are prokaryotes or whether they are eukaryotes. When they are prokaryotic and unicellular, then they are said to be monera. As I said you that monera is prokaryotic. When it comes to eukaryote, then either some of them are unicellular or some of them are multicellular. Though Protista is eukaryote, but it's unicellular. So under the unicellular, we can see this Protista. When it comes to multicellular, then some are with cell wall and some are without cell wall. The with cell wall are said to be with the cell wall. Some perform the photosynthesis, whereas others do not perform the photosynthesis. The one who do not perform the photosynthesis are dependent on the dead and decaying matter for their food, and they are said to be the fungi. Whereas the one who are able to perform the photosynthesis are said to be Plantae, and they can make their own food. Without the cell wall is simply the Animalia or the animals. This flowchart was wonderful to get a very quick review, though I could have directly made this flowchart and explained you, but I think that you even need to have some basic features because maybe it's not asked in exam, but knowledge is never wasted. So I think we are done with the 5 kingdom classification. Keep on liking, sharing and subscribing my videos and keep supporting me so that I can help you with many such concepts. And see my next part. I'm soon gonna upload it. And thank you so much.